One great thing happened today that Nigerians must learn from going into 2027 presidential election. Tinubu ordered EFCC to withdraw the place no debit order they placed on the account of Osun State government, otherwise known as freezing of the accounts. He ordered them to unfreeze it. Those who are interested in seeing the statement he released, you will see that in a moment. He shouldn't have released that statement because it proves many Nigerians right that he actually controls EFCC. EFCC is supposed to be independent, but he's trying to make it look as if, I intervened after EFCC froze the account of Osun State government. But he doesn't know that he's not supposed to intervene. Even if he wants to intervene, he's supposed to make it internal. He's supposed to call the chairman and tell him, hey, withdraw from that. It doesn't look good on the administration. But by making it public, he's actually confirming what many Nigerians say every time, that he controls the EFCC, that the EFCC never probes or charges any one of the APC to court. For example, the likes of Yahaya Bello, Godswill Akpabio, Omar Ganduje, and former governor of Delta State, Ifeanyi Okowa, many of them in APC, they are never charged. Even if they are charged, you don't hear about their cases. All they do is focus on the opposition because they want to turn Nigeria to a one-party state. Now, to why Tinubu yielded to the pressure by Nigerians. Nigerians must learn from this, especially Governor Adeleke. He has been shouting, telling Tinubu that he supports him, that he's even telling Osun State people to vote for him in 2027, that his Accord party has adopted him as their candidate in 2027, blah, blah, blah. But the same man, he's busy groveling before him, begging him to accept his support in exchange to allow a free and fair election in Osun State. The man doesn't give a damn about him. He has been treating him, jabbing him from all angles, and instead of facing his fears squarely, instead of standing his ground and facing the bully, because the only way you can defeat a bully is to send that message to him that you're not afraid. Stand right in his face and shout back at him. If he shouts 1, shout 7. If he hits you, hit 7 times or even 10 times. That will send the correct message that you will never accept to be bullied. These governors of today are too cowardly. They are not like the class of 1999, 2003, or even 2011 and 2015. How can they be sitting down and tolerating this intimidation? If they were united and spoke with one voice, this intimidation wouldn't have gotten to this level. The abuse of our democracy wouldn't have reached this far. It was because of their disunity and that corruption. You can never rule out corruption because if they weren't corrupt, most of them are corrupt. That's why they don't feel the need to fight the system. If you know you are not corrupt, and you're not doing anything wrong, you shouldn't be afraid of anyone. That's the reason you shouldn't join a party. Why are you joining the party in the first place? Because you are joining that party to benefit from the system, to benefit from rigging. All that is going on today, it is simply because they have failed in their duties. They are the first line of defense against dictatorship coming from the federal government. But they have joined the people intimidating Nigerians, so they are now anti-people. They are now against the people.
I am the chief security officer of Osun State. Hello, President Tinubu, I am passing this message to you. Osun will not accept any rigging. We will go out en masse and vote and defend our vote. Mo tún repeat here. Ẹ má jẹ́ kí n tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní 1993 kó ṣẹlẹ̀. President Tinubu, Osun people, Accord party have endorsed you as our presidential candidate. Why are we suffering? Why is our money being kept?
Governor Adeleke calling out Tinubu in a rally. The way he sounded and the way he sent the message in this massive rally, Tinubu must have felt, this will obviously hurt my chances in 2027. That's why I must intervene very quickly. That was why he made it public. But it is already very late. APC lost Osun State in 2023. They are probably going to lose it again in 2027. So imagine if Governor Adeleke started on time, sending the right message, making it clear to them that he will not be bullied, that Osun people will never accept being bullied or intimidated. All that has happened in Osun State might not have happened. All the arrest of Accord party members, they were flown to Abuja like you already know. It might not have happened because they will be worried. They will be saying, these people will not tolerate rubbish. We don't want chaos in any state, especially now that we are in an election season. So the lesson here, like I already said, is that you must not succumb or run away cowardly from a bully. No, you have to stand your ground, look him straight in the eye, stand your ground and tell him face to face, hey, this is my right. Anything you do, if you come with chaos, I give you double chaos. If you come with peace, I will give you peace. That's how it's supposed to be. So Nigerians must learn from this. If you don't speak up, how can anyone punishing you know that he is hurting you? You have to cry out for the world to hear. All their pretense that they are Democrats, that they were NADECO members that fought the military, blah, 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 they will be exposed, and that shame will force them to do the right thing. Do you really think that they don't know the right thing to do? They know it. As a matter of fact, anyone that knows how to do all the wrong things also knows how to do all the right things. Because how was he able to separate the right from the wrong? So Nigerians must start speaking out aloud. Stop dying in silence. Anything you don't like, any intimidation, anything, call it out right away. Shout as high as you can. You will force them to do the right thing. Also, the way the opposition united in calling out Tinubu's excesses, using the EFCC to freeze a government account belonging to an opposition party, it helped mount pressure on them. The ADC released a statement, Atiku Abubakar released a statement, NDC released a statement, P2B also released a statement. From all angles, Nigerians were hammering, shouting on social media until it became a shame to them. They couldn't bear it anymore. They had to bow to pressure from Nigerians. So going into 2027 presidential election, Nigerians must have this kind of mentality. Call it out. Return fire for fire. Return anything you are giving. If you are giving peace, return peace, because you actually want peace. The people who are in power, they don't give a damn what goes on. Even if the country burns down, they will rule over the ashes. Because if they cared about the well-being of this country and the unity of this country, they wouldn't be involved in all this mess. They will allow a free and fair election. Free and fair election will promote unity. It will promote the democracy more. But they want to lord themselves over Nigerians. They want to forcefully take over power everywhere. Why? Now, let's see the statement. Many wouldn't want to watch this, but for educational purposes and to decipher exactly what is going on, if you don't hear someone speak, you cannot get into the person's mind to know how he reasons, to understand his mentality. State House statement. President Tinubu directs EFCC to vacate the court order freezing Osun government account. It has come to my notice that the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) obtained a court order on August 5th, 2026, freezing the accounts of the Osun State government. I must state that I feel deeply embarrassed, not by EFCC's exercise of its mandate backed by a court order, but by the timing of the agency's action. This is so because every action taken by an institution of state, especially at the federal level, is always credited to me as the president, even when I may not have had any prior knowledge of the action. Since assuming office, I have consistently maintained that anti-corruption and law enforcement agencies must be allowed to discharge their statutory responsibilities independently, professionally, without fear of favor or political interference. I have therefore deliberately refrained from directing or interfering in the operational activities of the EFCC or any other investigative or prosecutorial agency because I firmly believe that strong democratic institutions operating within the confines of the law are indispensable to democratic good governance and the rule of law. As president, I am committed to allowing institutions of state to function and take any action they consider necessary in the interest of proper governance without the need for any prior approval. Indeed, that is why institutions are set up by law with clearly defined powers. While I am yet to be fully apprised of the facts which inform the action of EFCC in approaching the court to obtain the said order freezing the Osun State government account, I am not in the slightest doubt that the timing of the action of EFCC is inauspicious, and therefore I feel compelled to intervene. Osun State is only a few days away from its gubernatorial election. Therefore, nothing ought to be done to give an impression that the EFCC or indeed any other agency of the federal government is being used to interfere with the election. Based on the foregoing premise, I am duty-bound to issue a directive on this issue in consonance with the overriding public interest in preserving public confidence and the integrity, credibility, and fairness of our democratic process. Accordingly, I have directed the EFCC to immediately proceed to the court to vacate the order and discontinue whatever action it has instituted against the Osun State government in this regard. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, Asorok Villa. This is why it is very funny when they call Tinubu master strategist. You keep wondering, what is he strategizing? Where is that knowledge coming from? A gubernatorial election is coming up in Osun State. And how do you convince Osun State people to vote APC candidates? By withholding their local government allocation, getting to up to 2 years despite a court order. How do you convince the people that you are not the enemy, that they should join the party? By intimidating them, harassing them, arresting their people, taking them to Abuja on trumped-up charges. How does it work? Where is that political strategy? Just like what is going on in Nigeria at the moment, no former president has ever been this bad in his first term. At least they try to pretend, even if they have an intention to punish Nigerians, they leave it for their second term. You are dealing with humans. Convince them during the first term so that they will vote for you again. Now, when you come to your second term, you can start implementing punishing policies. But not him, the so-called master strategist. He started from day one punishing Nigerians, expecting to convince them how during the elections. It does not make any sense at all. He can't pretend to love Nigeria more than every other Nigerian. It's not possible. So that strategy can only be intimidation, thuggery, ballot box snatching, everything, name it. Even bribery and corruption. Everything is fair in politics. That's what he said. So the reality remains that there is no strategy. The strategy all along was to find a way to get to power. Now they are in power. They don't have any strategy to solve all the economic problems. Rather, they have caused more hardship. They have made a bad situation worse. Just like what happened with Cardinal Onaikon, bishops visited Tinubu to make it clear to him that Nigerians are suffering. They've been doing this to all presidents, starting from Shagari, that's talking about John Onaikon. When he became bishop in the early 80s, he criticized the Shagari administration, criticized Muhammad Buhari's administration, the military one, criticized IBB, Abacha, name it, Obasanjo, Yaradua, Goodluck Jonathan, even Buhari. Now they waited for Tinubu till the election season. They came and explained to him the sufferings Nigerians are going through. Instead of taking it like a man, hey, you are in charge. You inflicted all these problems on Nigerians. Even in some of his speeches, he's been saying, we know you're suffering, but have patience. Things are going to get better in a few years. But instead of doing that, they started attacking him. He released his attack dogs. They started hounding the man, attacking him. It was completely unnecessary. Now they have made 100% U-turn, with the SGF releasing a statement saying that they are now ready to negotiate and work with the bishops and the Catholic Church. So they have seen the backlash. Nigerians stood their ground and resisted that intimidation and insult and gave it back to them on equal measure. That is how you're supposed to treat a bully. If you continue doing it going forward, they will stop bullying you. That is how it works. So Nigerians must learn from this. Never chicken away. Always stand your ground in everything. Once you know you're doing the right thing, stand your ground. No one will intimidate you. Thanks for watching.